Hey, well, that's the New York Roadrunners Staten Island half marathon race today, completed. Clearly not in Staten Island. Again, another virtual race today. But the good thing is, by completing today's race, that means that I'm now qualified for the Brooklyn half marathon next year. So hopefully we'll all be in a much better place and be able to do that one in person. So therefore, it's time for some post-run risk tips. And what I wanted to talk to you about today was really asset management, and particularly asset management in the context of information risk management domain, including cybersecurity. So if we're in a CISO or in a cyber defense organization and we start talking about assets, we oftentimes will naturally start to talk about, servers, routers, virtual machines, switches, networks, etc., etc. And of course, those are all important assets. But when we look at it and talk about it in the context of business and business risk, assets can start to mean something a little bit different. An asset for the business is anything of value to the business. So whether that's something that generates revenue, something that creates or enhances margin, or something that collects cash. So the systems and the processes and the people that perform those things are the asset. In other words, if that asset was to fail, or if that asset was to be stolen or otherwise compromised, or if that asset was to cease doing what it needs to do, then what would be the actual impact to the business? And so with that in mind, there are really actually two categories of assets. They're the assets that truly are assets to the business and are of value to the business directly. And then there are assets that facilitate access to those assets, or that facilitate the creation of the real asset. So really, we have assets that are such as data, assets such as functions, and assets such as intellectual property that really are the business value assets. And the other assets in the infrastructure facilitate either the creation or the sustaining of those business assets. So here's the question then. When we look back at the spend, perhaps over the last 12, 24, 36 months on securing our assets, where have we been spending? Do we even have a full inventory of all those business assets that we're trying to protect in the first place? Hopefully so. Kind of made me think of, if you go home one day and your significant other is sitting on the bed in tears, and you say, "What's up?" And the person says, "Well, my grandmother's wedding ring has been stolen, so it's irreplaceable." And you look around and say, "Well, one good thing, none of these bulletproof glass windows got smashed." So in other words, we spent so much time trying to secure and protect the window as an asset, or the wall as an asset, or the building as an asset, and yet we truly didn't identify the real asset being the grandmother's wedding ring, and actually how we need to be protecting that. So oftentimes we find ourselves with the lawnmower in the safe and granny's ring in the shed. So just something to think about when we talk about asset management, and particularly using a risk management framework to define where, when and how we will invest security dollars to truly protect those assets. So there's my thoughts for the day. I'm now going to hobble inside, rehydrate because I'm thirsty, and I'll catch you next time. Stay safe, and as we say, stay unbreakable. See you soon.